Hello students, welcome to Infotech Pathshala. In this video, we are going to learn database concepts. So let's start. So first, I would like to explain some terms which are associated with database. First, I'll take data. You all must have heard this term data, but you are not aware what data actually is. So for explaining data, I'll take an example. Say 30. What is 30? It is nothing but just a collection of digits. If I write RAM, what is RAM? It's nothing but just a collection of alphabets. So when I say RAM using for student's name, it can be a type of memory also. So then it will become data. If I say 30 I'm using for student's marks, then it will become data. If I say 30 I'm using for a person's age, then it will become data. Picture of a person is also a data. Document of a student like UID card, birth certificate, all these are kind of data. Video which you are seeing on your screen is also a data. And audio means songs which you listen. Whatever audio you listen is also a data. So data is what? How we can define data? Data is nothing but just a collection of raw facts, figures which has no specific meaning but which can be used to process into some meaningful sense. Now one more thing I would like to mention over here, there is no such word datas because data is itself plural and its singular is datum. Now next come to information. What is information? Information is the process data. Means after processing whatever data you will get is information. Okay, now come to field. Field is what? Field is the smallest unit of database. It decides the attributes of the table. Means in which category you are going to store values in the table or in the database will be dependent on the field. So field is what? Field is the smallest unit of database, and as you can see on the screen, vertical lines are known as columns, means field in terms of database, and horizontal lines, as you can see on my screen, is a record. Record means a collection of related fields. Okay, and technically a record is known as a tuple. Now come to table. Table is what? Table is a collection of rows and column. Okay, and technically it is known as relation. Now some more terms I would like to discuss over here. First is degree of relation. Degree of relation means it is the number of attribute of the relation, means number of fields. Now second is cardinality of relation, means number of tuples, means number of records. Now come to database. What is database? How we can define a database? A database is an organized collection of structured data or information typically stored electronically in a computer system at a central location. In general term, we can say an organized collection of data is database. Now come to database system. So whenever system term encounters, what does it mean? Means there is more than one component. So in case of database, two components are there. First is front end and second is back end. Back end is also known as server, where your database is actually stored and you are accessing that database using front end. Why front end is required? Because this database can be accessed by many users. So for having multiple interface, you need to have front end. So two components are there, front end and back end. That means we are managing database, we are accessing database using front end. So that's why it is called database system. Now come to management. What is management? Management means managing the data, means adding new records, deleting the existing record, updating the existing record. That is management. And why system? Using front end. So we are managing database using front end is database management system. Now come to relational database management system. Relational, as you can see, you can understand relation means some relationship is there. So relationship is there, but between two tables. So we divide our database into multiple tables and we relate those tables on the basis of a common field, that is relational database management system. Now I would like to discuss some examples of RDBMS. So first is MS Access, then Oracle, SQL Server, FoxPro, PostgreSQL, SQLite for mobile users, Azure SQL for cloud computing. Okay, I'll discuss file-based system. So in earlier days, we used to maintain day-to-day transaction in a book. manually. That book is known as ledger. Then later we started maintaining data in files in text format. There was no database softwares available those days. So what we used to do, we used to maintain day-to-day transaction in files. So some features of file system I would like to discuss over here. So first is it stores all the data in one big file. All data is there in one big file. As you can see on the screen, there is a file, and you can see roll number, name are separated by a space or a tab. Sometimes it is separated by a comma, that is comma separated values are there. Okay, now there is no structure associated with data. Means as you can see, roll number field is there. Means user is supposed to enter numeric values only. But in case of file based system, user can enter text also. So there was no structure associated with the data. Now common data may be repeated number of times, that is data redundancy. Okay. Now incomplete file format, there was no specific file format available those days. Difficulty in representing data from user's view, because there was no concept of front end. So user was allowed to enter data directly in the database. Okay, there was no concept of front end. Now limitations of the file based approach. So first point is difficulty in access. As there is no structure associated with the file based system, all the data is simply stored in files. To access such type of data, specific type of application programs are to be written, as file based system does provide any access mechanism. So this point you can understand with an example. Say suppose what if there is no index page available on the first page of the book. What you will do, if you want to jump on a specific topic or on specific page, you need to scan all the pages one by one, starting from the first page till the end. So it will be difficult for you. And if index is available on the first page of the book, so what you can do, you can directly jump on the specific page. Okay, so you will get the page number from the index and you can directly jump. So same goes with file based system. There was no access mechanism to jump on a specific record. It was very difficult to access. Now come to data redundancy. What is data redundancy? It refers to the storage of same data multiple times. That means data repetitions or data duplication is known as data redundancy. In file based system, we were having data redundancy. As you can see on the screen, student name, date of birth, class, phone number, test name, test date and marks are written in this database. Here Javed and David, students name are getting repeated. Why? Because we have to mention uh, test name, and one student can give multiple tests. So here FA1 test and FA2 test, two tests are there. So student names are getting repeated. So this type of repetition is known as data repetition, data redundancy. Over here I have not mentioned ID field, because as two students can have same name. In my next video I'll be explaining type of keys available in the database. Now come to data inconsistency. What is data inconsistency? Multiple mismatch copies of the same data is called data inconsistency. One hospital database example I have given over here. Over here, patient name, date of birth, gender, phone number, doctor ID, visit, room number are written. Okay, so here this Dr. Fateh is there, and suppose Dr. Fateh leaves the hospital for any reason and Dr. Shruti has joined. So in some places Dr. Fateh's name is written over here, is it's not yet updated. So it seems there are two entities, but actually there is one. Okay, so this is called data inconsistency, that is mismatch copies of the same data. Now then come to data isolation. So what is the data isolation? For example, to prepare a consolidated report about a bank's performance, data from all department files would be needed. But in file based system, there is no way to link or map data in different files. No data mapping supported feature is available. So that is data isolation. Come to data dependence. The close relationship between data stored in files and the software programs that update and maintain those files is called data dependence. For example, when a customer ID is related to customer name only, and if reference of customer ID is taken in another table, say order table, then we say data is functionally dependent. Okay, that customer ID is dependent, which is there in the order table, to the customer table, because customer table customer ID is mentioned. So this is called data dependence. Now come to data integrity. Data integrity refers to the accuracy and consistency of data over its life cycle. It is referred to a state and a process. This you can understand by an example. Say the student marks field is there, and maximum marks is 100. That means user is not allowed to enter greater than 100 values. So the validation which you will apply on that field is known as integrity constraint. So what you are doing, you are maintaining data integrity. Okay, it's a state and a process also. Now data sharing security control issues. With file based system, there is no provision to have control over data access. All the data is available to all types of user. Means user, if suppose employee salary field is there, so user can manipulate the salary values. Okay, so data sharing security and control mechanism was not there, it was not secure. So these are the disadvantages of file based system. With this we have reached the end of the session. I hope you all have understood. In my next video I'll be discussing database keys and advantages of RDBMS. So to have the latest update, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.